Hey, thanks for coming by, Tori Magoo 44. Today is the 7th of October, and it's harvest time. Okay, so here's the deal. As you all know, in the news, a bunch of stuff has come up about these bullies and people taking their own lives. And I'm just going to give you a couple of my own personal ideas on things that you can do. I was in a cult for 30 years, as most of you know. I escaped out in July of 2000, literally. The Tampa police got me out of the airport with some friends. Okay, so that's that. Since then, a bunch of people have asked me, what happened since? What did they do to you? Now, a lot of people that have followed my story know they've done a lot of shit to me. They're a church, right? But they're really, per a judge, a mafia-like organization. And they are. So you take them on, you speak out. They don't like that at all. They don't want their secrets known. They're supposed to be this great group that's helping mankind, right? So they don't like me too much, and that's too bad. I've told them a million times, stop doing your abuses. I'll be on my way. But you know what? They break up families. They trap young kids into Scientology, thinking Tom Cruise, John Travolta are in it. It must be good. Well, those guys don't see this stuff even I didn't see this stuff. I was in it 30 years. It's like a pyramid. It took me a long, long time to see the dark side of them. And even then, most people that are in it don't see it. So it's very, very tricky. But since then, they have bullied me to death online in my life. They've flattened my tires. They've broken into my house. They've stolen things. I had little turtles. They started with these little turtles on my front porch, breaking off one leg at a time, 1 month, every few weeks, kind of thing. Now, what bully's going to do that? That's just like a local bully. I don't think so. But that is kind of Scientology. They do a thing called fair game, where Hubbard said you can lie, cheat, steal, destroy someone utterly if they're speaking out against him or Scientology, right? So here I am. Voila. They literally declare you suppressive. See, here's my SP declare by the Church of Scientology Flag Service Organization. They used to write up all these really horrible, specific bad deeds that you did. And Hubbard said, hey, if you don't have shit on them, make it up, right? So they made up a bunch of stuff about me and declared me suppressive, and then no one's allowed to talk to you. And they're allowed to do these fair games, even though Hubbard wrote a cancellation. So all the people in, myself included when I was in, you're sure, well, that was canceled. No, it isn't canceled. At the very bottom of the cancellation, it says this cancellation does not apply to suppressive people, which is me and the thousands of other people who've left and spoken out. So, yes, we've been bullied. I've been lied about over and over and over and over and over online. I mean, just furiously. So what can you do as far as if somebody's bullying you online? Well, number one, I learned one thing. If you don't answer people, they don't have much material. The only way they get material is when you respond to their bullying. Bullies live off of people reacting to them, okay? So if you just move along, that's the end of that. Pretty much. They got to find somebody else. They might still keep writing shit about you, so what? Your friends, your real friends, know who you are. And that's all that really matters. I have, a small group of friends that I know I can count on anytime, any hour, any day. And everybody should. And if you don't, find some, meet some, one way or the other. But you probably do. And you need to keep those people close to your heart, okay? And stay in touch with them, right? So number one online is just like move along. Don't get into it. Don't answer it. Because if you answer it, it's like a fishing rod. They're throwing it out. They're trying to catch you. And as soon as you bite on it, they got you, right? Okay, the other thing is for people that see it. You're online, you see it, you're in a news group or something, and somebody's getting picked on to shit, back them up. That helped me a ton. When I first got on, tons of people were against me. Not only the Church of Scientology and their guys that were on there, who are often one person creating 10 different identities, right? So it looks like it's a whole bunch of people, but it's really just one jackass who's creating all these different things that are against you, right? And even the critics at the time were against me because they were sure nobody wakes up as fast as I did. They didn't know me. They didn't know behind the scenes. I'd spent 10 years waking up, right? But there were a few people, Andreas in Norway, online, who helped me. And I had about 3 friends in real life, 3 or 4 that really stood by me. And then online, a bunch of people started hearing my story, learning my story, and I can't tell you how much you can help someone else from a very long distance. I mean, these people in Seattle, to this day, I love you. They used to write me and say, Magoo, we were never in Scientology. We're not even critics of Scientology, but we saw your story where they chased you across the country, and we love you. We come in every day to find out what happened to Magoo, which is my nickname, right? Because of my dad, because of our little teeny eyes. But, you know, those kind of people help me a ton. I mean, a ton. There's one guy from Sweden who, you know, very well could have saved my life. Because every time I post, people would be against me. But he would constantly just keep writing a little something to back up. It made me feel like I was still alive. Do you know what I mean? So that's another thing. In real life, okay, first of all, for parents, talk to your kids about this. You know, years ago, one of our dear friends hung himself. And it was horrible for everyone. I took my son to SeaWorld and I said, look, this isn't it's not an option at all, no matter what. You know, you have to talk to me first. You have to. And he said, don't worry, it's not in the cards. And you know, we have a wonderful relationship. But his very dear friend, just the next year, shot himself to death. So, you know, it's like, you've got to talk to your kids about it. It's a very delicate issue. It's very tricky, but they've got to know that you're there and that they have to talk to you. And I know a lot of people, we've heard these stories where the kids followed the one kid around who was getting bullied. You know, for the bullies, just stop bullying people. Bullying has to do with peer pressure. You get into a peer group, you want to be with them, you all want to pretend like you don't want to be with them. You're so cool, you don't really care. But you know what? That's why you're there. Most people, when really bad things happen, they go, I wouldn't have done that, except I was with, you know, these guys and they were doing it. So number one, don't be hanging around other bullies, because there are always a few really evil, creepy people, and they're going to do really evil, creepy things. And you're going to get stuck in it, okay? So you got to kind of go, you know what? No, I'm not part of that. You got to be willing to stand up to it, because they're going to probably pick the shit out of you. So what? You know, it's like, if they're hurting other people, is that really the karma you want to build up, that you're hurting people, maybe destroying their lives? I don't think so. It's not a good thing. So you got to face that to the kids that are part of peer groups where you're bullying people. You can laugh at me. I know, I can hear you guys. I can hear you. I know the people that have made fun of me, they've made fucking fun of me forever. And you know what? Get in line, take a number. That's been my policy since I was 13. And we moved to this little snotty high school, and these kids were really rude. And I was like, fine, get in line, take a number. I don't give a shit. So what? You know, you don't like me? So what? There you go. And I'm telling you, it's a very protective thing. Because don't take it too personally. You take it too personally, it's too much. It's just too much. You got to remember, it's just people. And most of the people that are being abusive aren't really evil people. There's really only a couple people, like maybe one, maybe two, that are really hardcore evil people. And the rest of them are just kind of ganging along with them. And you have to know that in your heart and realize, just, you know, you're okay. Find your center. Find your light. Find what's good today. A lot of people write me, I'm having a hard time. I don't feel good about the world. Okay. The world's having a hard time. You know, we're all going through a lot of shit. But you know what? That doesn't mean you can't have a good day. It doesn't. You know, like I said, you know, if you don't have real close buddies, have a buddy like Mr. Anonymous, Mr. Norwegian from Norway. Here he is. He's like one of my pals. And, you know, here's another one, Mr. Supermoose. You got to admit, I mean, it makes you laugh. Come on. You know, you got to have something that makes you laugh. Something that makes you smile. Some people that will help and stand up for you. Okay? And you stand up for them. And you do something. You know, volunteer. Go help people that are worse off than you are. There's a lot of people that are way, 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 way worse off than you are. The fact that you're hearing this means you have a computer and you have access to it. And you know what? There's skillions of people that don't have computers. So right away, you're way better than a lot of people. So remember that. Find the things that are good in your life and build on those. And don't let these rats get to you, okay? Be willing to stand up for people, help each other, have a good day. All right, there you go. That's my 10 cents, 2 cents, call it what you will. There you go. I hope it helps somebody. I love you guys. And as far as my own personal fair game, I hope that helped you. I mean, there's tons of stuff they've done. You can read it and, Google my name, Tori Christman. There's good stuff. There's bad stuff. They have lies up about me to this day. That's just the way they are. And they're a church. Right. So don't get into the Church of Scientology. That's my final word. Don't. It is not what you think it is. All right? Peace out. I love you all. And I wish you a great